Alright, so today I will be doing brakes on my STI. I'm just going to do the front. I'm going to do one at a time. So right now I'm doing the left or the right front. These are the rotors. I already got the pads. I'm just doing the rotors, and then I'm going to do the pads as well. The pads is inside the car. When I first bought the car, it came with the pads already. They was just going past slab, but looking at these rotors, definitely not gonna pass slab. Also, when I brake, the car pulsate, so I know that it definitely needs rotors. But like I said, this wasn't my priority on this car. I was working on my other RX-X, but since I got those kind of all sorted out, only one is just this one. But I'm gonna do this and then potentially sell this car. But I'll show you guys once I get the wheels off. Alright, so I can't really show you guys, but because I don't have my tripod. But pretty much you don't take out these bolts up here because you don't want to split the caliper open. You want to get just a bolt to the bracket. Kind of hard, but it's this one right here, and there's one on the bottom. And then once you get that, it should just slide out. But before doing all that, you want to get these pin right here off. And then they got these pin that holds in this pin. So you take those two out, and then you hit this, and that pin should slide out. I haven't done too much of these Brembo's caliper. I know I only did 3 on the STI, and usually they said that this bolt right here to the knuckle is usually a bitch to come out and use that strip, and you're pretty much fucked. But my case, I already broke those 2 loose already. I never had an issue with it. The only issue that I had was these pin, but I had trouble with these pin on 2 Evos. I haven't had a trouble on the STI, so I hope they do come out pretty easy. Okay, like I said, I never had any issue with these STI on the Evos. I did have a little bit more trouble, but there's these pin that locks onto this pin. And make sure when you put it back in that the holes right here, so you can slide these back into the pin. And then other than that, like I said, these pin were what I had an issue on the Evos, but on the STI I never really had an issue. So you use tape. I just used the pig, but you use pretty much, you hit this pin out. I got that already, so you can see right there. It's already popped over here, and then you just kind of. Alright, so I got this pin out. So what I did was you push this plate back. Kind of hard to see, but you push this plate back so that it doesn't have any pressure, and then you should be able to just slide out the pin. Like I said, these get really corroded, especially on the Evils. I don't know why, but this one looks pretty good. I could just kind of clean it off with like maybe a wire brush. But on the Evils, these get corroded, and that's kind of the hard thing to get it out. And especially on the Toyota Tundras. The Tundras are really a bitch to get out. But these, like I said, with the STI, I never really had an issue. You take out this plate. I usually kind of like putting it back in place, so I know which go to which. Same with this one. This one you just slide out. And for Brembos, it's really easy. Once you get this part, you're pretty much like halfway done already. And then you just slide these pads out. The only thing that I don't have is a caliper tool for these Brembos, but I'm gonna make it work. Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of tap these. Break it loose. But yeah, once you get those slide out, you press this out. so that both the piston comes out. So you have the gap in here. You can slide the new pad, and then you take out these 2 bolts, and then the rotors come out, and you put your new rotors on. So it's really easy, easier than the regular brakes, because you don't have to do the caliper and then the caliper bracket. This is all one whole assembly. All right, so I got the new rotors in. I just took the caliper. I did try the best. I don't have the tool, but I'm gonna try to do it with the 2 screwdriver method. I have done it like this before with you just using the 2 screwdriver to push the pin back. But what I'm gonna do now is take the brush and clean up these area where the pad slides in, which is these up here. You can see that this one's kind of corroded. It was kind of hard to take that one out, so that's why I'm gonna clean it up. I did drop the pin here somewhere. I had to come back and look for that. But I'm gonna clean that up and then get this sorted out, and then I'll show you guys again. All right, so I got the new pads in. The pads were a little bit tricky to get in because it was up here was a little bit larger. So I grinded it down with just a 80 grit whistle wheel. I probably could have made it fit if I disassemble the bracket that hold these in place, but I didn't have the right Allen tool for it, so I didn't want to mess it and strip it. So I just grind it down, and then I add some anti-seize onto the top up here so that it slides in easy. And then I already got the pin in, and I already got that locking pin in. And then for this, you just got to push it back so you can clear that. Got that top pin in. I just got to make sure that this hole up here lines up so that I could put this pin in. I'm almost positive that it's not lined up correctly, but we'll see. Yeah, so it's upside down a little bit. I'm gonna try to see if I could just turn it. Okay. Sorry that I got no light. So now that's lined up, you could just push the pin in. There you go. And there you go. You done yourself a Brembo brake job. I'm just gonna tighten up the 2 back bolt for the caliper, and then I'm gonna put the wheels back on, and then I'm gonna do the other side. So I didn't get a chance to record the driver's side, but the driver's side and the front side are both done. Now I just gotta do the rears. I did reverse the car back out so that I could do the rears. And then right now I just hooked up the battery charger to it. You can kind of see that it's a little battery. Halfway. So I'm gonna get that charge up. But it's gonna be pretty much it until maybe this weekend so I can do the rears. Alright, so it's been a week since I did the front. Today I'm doing the rears on the STI. It's the same thing as the front. So you got these 2 bolts right here for the caliper, one down here, one up here and one down there. Once you get those 2 out, the caliper should come out. Let's see if I could. I already broke it free. Take that one out. I'm not gonna fully take it out. I'm just gonna loosen it because first, before you take out the caliper, you want to take out these pins. Then once you take those pins out, then you can take out the caliper. There we go. Got these 2 pin that locks in the pin. Let me see if I can show you how that looks like. You see those 2 little holes right there on the pin. So once you get those out, those will slide out. Next, you want to take this pin out. There we go. These are fairly easy, easier than the front, because I could just slide these out by hand. And drop this down. Let me remove one of these so I can show you guys. Like before, you push this back to cause it not to have so much pressure on it, and then you could be able to slide it out. The bottom should be easy because there's no more pressure. So now that you got those out, you just take out these caliper bolts like I was saying earlier. So this should just slide out. Slide right out. Here's the old pads. They still look decent. Still got a little bit of life fit to it. Probably like 50% left. But since I'm replacing, I'm just gonna replace all of them. And also, the rotors do feel a bit warped. You could feel a little bit ridges. You could also kind of see that's like uneven. Then I'm gonna show you the next trick. You guys probably know this. Some of you guys might not. But you get yourself a 12 and you put it in this right here and then push out the rotors. And that way you don't have to bang on the rotor. Watch out for this caliper, don't want this to fall. So put this back up here. You see how that rotor came out? Alright, just with some wiggle. Can't get it out. Alright, since I'm here, I'm just gonna check the e-brake really quick. They're still pretty decent. I mean, these don't really go out. But how you measure them, it's pretty much from this little lip up here. You see this one right here? If it still has like a little lip like that, then you know you still got some shoe. If it's completely flat like this, then you know your shoe is pretty much gone. Alright, so I'm gonna brush these really quick. And I'm gonna put the new rotors on, and this is all I'm using, just that pick, hammer, a ratchet, and impact. Not really much. Alright, I forgot to mention that today I do have the right tool. This is what you need to do the Brembo, because it goes both ways. The other version is just the one that could press only one way. So let me set this up and show you guys how it works. Let me show you a little bit on the Brembos. So you see how it has 2 pistons here. So pretty much you will put this in here and it will push out the piston. Alright, so once you get the caliper tool in, you just compress it. And you should be able to see that the piston are turning with it. Okay. Kind of see that piston over here moving. It's kind of hard for me to see, but okay, so it won't go anymore, so I'm pretty much maxed out. So now you can see that both pistons are completely flush, and you're pretty much set. Now you just gotta do the rotors and put the pads in. Alright, so I cleaned that up already. Just took a wire brush and cleaned these just so that it'll be smooth to put in the brake pad. Another thing to mention it is you don't want to breathe none of this brake dust and stuff that you're brushing off from the caliper. That's all cancer stuff, so you don't want to breathe that. Rotors in. Just gotta peel off this little sticker. There we go. And we're pretty much 50% done. So now I just gotta put the caliper back on. Okay, so I got the caliper bolts tightened. These pads should just slide in. Yup, so the pad just slides. Oh my god. Anyways, the pad should just slide in. There we go. Slides in just like that. And then we're pretty much 80%. We just gotta put the pins in. Right here. And then like I said, you gotta make sure when you put these back, you see this little hole. You gotta make sure that comes on the outside so you can put the pin in. Just like that. This one's really easy. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna put this pin in first. So that way I don't have to struggle with this one later. And then this bracket goes underneath this. Like that. And then when you were doing the top one, you push this back like that so you can get the pin slide through. Get that top pin. Gotta find that hole. Find that hole. These are a lot easier than the front. The front, for me, when I did the front, These are kind of harder to turn, but these are fairly easy. Has a lot of play. Not like a lot of play, but you can spin it freely without struggling. When I did the front, once I put that pin in through that first hole, coming to the second, you aren't able to turn this, but this one you're still on the rears, you're still able to turn, which it's a good sign. You don't want no corrosion or anything, but yeah, you're pretty much done. I don't have this plug because this didn't come with that plug. But yeah, pretty much done with this side. I'm gonna go do the other side and then do a test drive. Alright, there we have it, guys. Both front and rears are done. Looking great. Now I just gotta go pump the brakes and then do a test drive. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna do a test drive today, but it's good just to know that I got all the brakes done.